Honorable Speaker, IPU delegation, colleagues parliamentarians, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to express the huge honor that it makes for the IPU and, of course, to me, to be here with you and to have the opportunity to celebrate our 130th anniversary. It is not easy to imagine the world 130 years ago. 2 world wars, 1 Cold War, new threats, the 4th Industrial Revolution, new technologies, new ways of communication. Humanity is now exploring in one hand the space, but in the other one, the atoms. 130 years ago, women were not allowed to vote. Only some regions were building parliaments. Some countries didn't exist. 130 years ago, democracy was important, but it was not a generalized value. Human rights were respected only in a very few regions. Parliaments were an institution for some countries, while others didn't have any possibility for people's representation. 130 years ago, in June 30th, in 1889, 9 countries decided to change our planet from the parliaments, from parliamentary diplomacy, cooperation. Hungary, as a founding father of IPU, still is sending a very important message to all our members. You have a very active and committed delegation. The Hungarian National Assembly has been a very important member of IPU, celebrating many events, but also setting this very important example of remembering us, our history, our traditions, our beliefs. Now the IPU delegation is taking care of very sensitive issues for our organization. You have a very active participation in climate change. You are addressing the humanitarian situation. You're looking for refugees, for immigrants, and now Hungary is chairing the Committee for the Respect of the International Humanitarian Law. Hungary has been part of our debates. It's always expressing strong opinions. But I must say that yes, while Hungary is always remembering our history, it's always having a very important hope on the future. This is the first event that we are having to celebrate our 130th anniversary. This is, yes, the first step in a very good direction. History is a very good opportunity to learn, to remember, to be clear on how we came here. But at the same time, this anniversary is a very important opportunity to renew our beloved Inter-Parliamentary Union, to renew our commitment with democracy and its values. If we try to understand what is going on in the world, new generations are taking democracy for granted. And you know, particularly here in Hungary, that we never should be taking democracy for granted. We have to fight for democracy every single day. This is also a very good opportunity to renew our defense on human rights and freedom. Yes, we are in the 21st century, and we could be expecting to have a very respectful, inclusive, fair world. But the reality is showing precisely a different directions. Now, human rights are facing threats all over the world. And it is very important to renew our defense of human rights and liberties. to renew our ideal for a more inclusive world. We are always talking about SDGs, and we are doing a wonderful job in IPU addressing, giving tools, exchanging experiences and best practices about the Sustainable Development Goal. But when it comes to inclusiveness, there is a very important challenge for us as parliamentarians and designing parliaments, which is how are we going to include more women? How are we going to include youth in our parliaments? And this means also not only to have better policies, this means also to have parliaments as an inclusive organization, as an inclusive institution. This is also an opportunity to renew and strengthen our institutions, to make them more accountable, efficient, relevant, capable of delivering results for our constituencies. Our anniversary is an opportunity to renew our spirit and be strong enough to adapt our institutions and legislation for the new challenges of governance. We cannot pretend that we are going to be efficient, to be inclusive, to be truly representative if we try to rule the world with institutions from 2 or 3 centuries ago, while every day the 21st century is making this world a different one. Now governance is not only about delivering policies or legislation. Now governance is asking us for different challenges in our communications with our constituencies. Now governance is showing us that we need to redesign our institutions from the very local level and all the way to multilateralism. Now we need to understand that these new technologies are changing the way we think, are changing the way we relate to each other, are changing the way we understand the world. So we need to adapt politics. We need to adapt our institutions because we need to give results to our people. And our anniversary is an opportunity to renew our hope that parliaments and parliamentarians can change this planet. We are about 46,000 parliamentarians around the world. We have in our duties, we have the power to make legislation, to represent the people, to allocate budget, to make governments more accountable. If we try to imagine, only for 1 minute, what would happen if these 46,000 parliamentarians all over the world take the decision, have the commitment to work into the same direction, to make this planet a more inclusive, fair, and of course respectful of each other and nature, I am sure that we can change this planet. So that's why we are here. That's the very nature of IPU, to be the World Organization of National Parliaments. May this 130th anniversary be that moment to remember, to think, and to believe in ourselves. May this anniversary, this opportunity to build the IPU of the 21st century. Thank you very much, dear Speaker, dear delegation of the Parliament of Hungary to the IPU. Thank you so much for allowing us to remember the importance of our beloved organization and to renew our hearts and our commitments to change this planet. Thank you.